Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Today, I'm doing a 6mm arc boot light test. Just like every other bing bang that I pick up, gotta do your due diligence and find what loading it likes best. Especially when it comes to factory loading, it's gonna like one more than the other, so on and so forth. So I have been able to find 4 different 6mm arc factory loadings. I'll show you those here in a second, but what am I going to sling them out of? This is CMMG's Br4 16-inch barrel, 6mm arc. They're making these in several other cartridge loadings, but 870 compatible stock. That's pretty groovy. I actually really like that. Makes it feel more like a bolt action, really, to me. It has their descent upper, which no buffer tube, no buffer spring. It's all enclosed here. CMMG's descent upper. Trigger, I believe I read 4.5 pounds. It is also a side charger. So I've got 0 complaints out of this thing so far. I've already done some chronograph testing. I've done some sight-in and initial group testing with it. 0 problems even running the can. I've got my Banish 30 can on there, but let me bring you over here to the bench. Well, first I might as well show you the scope. I've got a 3 to 18 power Zoomy on here, mainly because I want to do some long range stuff. We might catch a deer with this, who knows. Long range 18 Zoomies is going to help us out, have the clickies on the scope. But let me bring you over here to the bench and show you all the factory loadings I'm going to be testing here today. Might as well show you this box. This is the scope I put on there. Just put that on this morning. Sitting there on my desk. You guys that watch the show know I just got a new vise for my desk, so put that on this morning. But here's everything I found. And I found this stuff at my local places between Tolliver's and also Sportsman's Warehouse. So first, Fort Scott. Look at that projectile. It's kind of crazy. These are, believe it or not, 90 grainers with a 6mm projectile. Come on, focus camera. Then we got 103 grain eld-x. We've got 108 grain matches, and then I've got some 105 grain black. So I did some initial testing, like I said, when I sighted this thing in. I'll show you the target. I sighted it in with the match because when I go do long range stuff, that presumably would do the best. It's the heaviest. And here's what I got. I got a 0.26, I got a 0.71, and a 1.03, averaging a 0.67. Not too shabby. That is very, very impressive. I don't care who you are, that's impressive. So this thing, 6mm arc, CMMG Br4, is capable of this. So best case scenario, we can duplicate something like that, but I'm really going to slow down, give all these a fair shake, take our time, and just see if we can see what happens. Maybe it likes them all, maybe it only likes this one, maybe it likes 2 of them, I don't know, but that's why we make the videos. Let's go back, I'll meet you at 100 yards. All right, here we go. First one up is going to be those match 108 grainers. Take my time and do my best here. This is my Caldwell Lead Sled 3, and because I don't have a big huge honker mag in here, it works good in this rest. But all the Zoomies, here we go. Take my time, top left target. I'll edit out the slow parts for y'all. Shade left. Yeah, we had 2 touching there. Cold bore was a shade off. Oh, we got to do that a benefit of the doubt one. Feed it another one. Make sure that wasn't just a wonky cold bore shot, but we'll keep note of which one is the 4th one. Oh, come on. There we go. This is a 4th with those 108s. Yeah, a little bit better group. Now somebody's gonna say, well, you gotta be fair and send 4 with all of them. Probably not, but we'll see what happens. Next is a 103 grains. Which one is 103? The eld-x is the 103s. One you might want to pick to go catch a deer with 6mm arc. If you missed the video and this is something that would float your boat, I did a video comparing 6mm arc for 6 Creedmoor versus 6.5 Grendel and several other things. If you missed that video, go check it out. But here goes the 103 eld-x. Wow. Oh man, we monkeyed that one up. I'm sending a 4th. I felt like that was a bad trigger squeeze on my part. Now, this does have like a 4.5 pound trigger, which is not exactly a precision trigger. I might could do a little better with a lighter trigger, but just to give myself excuses. We'll just go ahead and do a 4 group of all of them. How's that to make everybody happy? Yeah. Oh, that's hot brass. Come on, man. But yeah, I think that one that boogered that one up was just a bad trigger squeeze on my part. I think it really likes those 103s. Next is the 90s, lightest ones. Sometimes you'd be surprised. I've done some like really light 6.5 Creedmoor testing and stuff, and you think there's no way that's gonna work, and then it just works. So don't rule anything out until you have your own first-hand experience, is what I say. Book knowledge is good and better than nothing, but if you go out and do it yourself, trust the data a lot more. Bottom left target. I said we were going to do 4 for everything, so load up a 4th. Last one's going to be the 105 grainers. Me, just to kind of add on to giving myself a better excuse, even on this rest, it's a little hard to ensure that you're breaking that 4.5 pound trigger at the exact same hold spot every single time. That trigger is on the heavier side, but it all depends on what you're using it for. For most people, probably not getting a Br4 for a bench rest rig. Probably more apt to a self-defense or in your truck or so on and so forth. But yeah, baby. Most people, you wouldn't want a hair trigger on something like this. I'm just throwing it out there from a precision perspective. I really like getting small groups. I'm doing my best out here. Here's the 105 grainers. Whoa, we just put 2 in the same hole. Don't mess it up. I think that is going to come in at the best 4-inch group, I think. And the 90 grainers is the worst, about 1.5 inches. But yeah, pretty groovy. That's the data we wanted. Let's go measure those groups with the calipers. I'm gonna try to find some of this brass, but man, this thing's chucking this brass like 20 feet directly that way, I think, 90 degrees. Let's go measure these groups with the calipers. All right, so I just measured all those groups with the digital calipers. And really, the truth is nothing did terrible. But just to keep everybody happy, I measured all those groups with the best 3 and then all 4. Going back years and years and years and years, that's how I've documented everything, is with groups of 3. But then if I don't measure all four, there'll be about 15% of y'all watching this video, call yourself a purist or whatever, that'll get mad at me and unsubscribe, because that's not really what happened. You slung for 4, you got to measure all 4. So I did both. There'll be a 3 and the measurement of the best of 3. Then there'll be a 4, and I did the group of all 4, just so everybody's happy, happy, happy. Let me show you these groups. And like I said, nothing was terrible. Some stuff definitely better than others. Again, when I sighted it in with the 108 grain stuff, it averaged to 0.67, and the best was that right there, 0.26. Now, this time, this is the same stuff, 108s, 108s. 3, those right there, was a 0.66, which interestingly enough is the average of what we got testing that stuff out a little bit more extensively. And the group of 4 is still under an inch, so not too shabby. This one right here, the 103s, look at that. That's pretty good, y'all. So really, it likes the 108s, it likes the 103s, 0.42 inch group with those, then you include the 4th one, 1.02. Then those 90 grainers actually didn't do as bad as I thought they did. If you count just the 3, 0.73 inch group, all 4 is 1.25. Not terrible, but that is the worst in both categories, the 3 and the 4. Then this one right here, this one averaged the same as my 108s, 0.67. Yeah, 4 there, and then 3 touching. The 3 was a 0.37. So if you only look at this data on this sheet, that CMMG Br4 likes the 105s the best, but really, you'd be okay with a 103. It's a better than half-inch group with just 3. You'd be okay with the 108s. Probably wouldn't get this stuff unless that was all I could find, but if that's all you could find, it still isn't terrible. A 0.73 inch group at 100 yards, most people would be happy with that. But yeah, pretty groovy ammo testing. But hey guys, thanks for hanging out and checking out the video. 6mm arc bullet testing out of CMMG's Br4. Banish 30 can on there. 6mm is smaller than a 30 cal, so we can send them through there. And yeah, all in all, a really cool setup. I like this kind of a stock. I said it in my video where I first sighted this thing in. If you said, hey man, we'll trade you one of these for all your ARs, I'd say here you go. I like this stock. Feels good to me. And in the 6mm arc, I can stay in the scope on that semi-auto, no problem, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Even sometimes with a 223 with the big bang, sometimes it's not the easiest to stay in the scope. Somebody say, yeah, it is. Well, okay. But with the can on there, a lot of the sound out and some of the recoil, which there's not much recoil with the 6mm arc anyways. But hey, I'm gonna quit rambling. I documented all the stuff that I wanted to today. Thanks for coming along with me. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've checked out WHOTEEWHO.com. We got stuff like these hats and shirts and all of the doodads on there. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. WHOTEEWHO!